I want to know your viewpoint on this, Mark. 5-7 season, top 10 recruiting class. Just months after getting blown out by Tallahassee and Duke and Clemson and a bunch of people on your schedule, Middle Tennessee State. What does this say about Coach Cristobal and his staff? Well, mostly him, because that's who recruits the top-notch dogs, is Coach Cristobal. So we'll say, what does that say about Coach Cristobal being able to still land some of these top-tier local recruits and national recruits off of a 5-7 team, in your opinion? What does that say about him?
The first thing that comes to mind is the description of what a salesperson is. And the reason I bring that up is if I went to go be a salesperson tomorrow, there'd be certain skills that I could bring to the table. I can be friendly. I can introduce a product. I can small talk. I can, work into a conversation. I can explain the product. I have certain skills that I would be able to fit into a sales person's job immediately. But the best salespeople know how to close. I don't have that skill. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. And they say that there's all sorts of people that are really good persons, and they have the skills to talk and to present and do all those things, but they don't know how to close. And there's a unique skill set to closing. And I got to think that he knows how to close.
Mm, mm. I like that. I like that view. Some people have the take that he hops. I mean, he's talking to sophomores now. They say that Coach Cristobal has just such a great relentless relationship building so early that it's so hard for other coaches to catch up. And by the time that those coaches catch up, he has already built such a great relationship that he, like you said, can close it and finish it. And in the midnight hour, they've been pushing. Let's say they're going at it for a safety recruit, or let's say offensive tackle, something that Coach Cristobal is great at landing in his whole entire time, play the position. Well, Francis Marigola said USC came calling all the way up until he put pen to paper. But he had already built such a great relationship with Joe Salavea, of course, from the same island. You also have Coach Mirabal, his position coach, and Coach Cristobal, his co-position coach, that no matter what happened, uh, who came calling or how much money, well, I don't know. Somebody throws 8 million at somebody, it might be a different conversation. But what I'm saying is you built up such a rapport with someone that it's really hard for them to turn away from it. Now, in instances like Cremani McClain, we've seen it happen where he bragged about how much he loved Coach Cristobal. He loved DeMarcus Van Dyke, our defensive analyst. He liked the scheme. He couldn't wait to come to Miami. And when it was time, he chose Colorado. Good on to him. What I'm saying is, I like it. Of course, we all want to see the wins happen. And again, I don't think Miami wins more than 6 or 7 games this upcoming year anyway. It's just still a bunch of building that has to be done. And we're going to be very young at some key positions. And not to create excuses this early on, but I think it's just a harsh reality of where we are, okay, and who we are at Miami.
I do think that obviously we saw Deion go to Jackson State first and foremost, and he brings in arguably the best player in the country, Travis Hunter, and then he follows Deion to Colorado, and then Deion's able to reel in Cormani McClain. So I think that's a very unique situation where you have one of the great cornerbacks in history is now a head coach, and he's going to attract that position. Not that he's not going to attract other positions, but first and foremost, he's going to attract that position with the allure of I can train you to be a first round pick in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's very similar. I mean, I don't know if Neon Dion might have been the greatest athlete ever. as far as could do almost anything. I hear he had a killer 3-point shot too, but he just didn't want to play basketball. But some people have hate in their heart about that situation. It would be like as if I'm, my favorite player of all time. The reason why I wore 52 is Ray Lewis. If I happen to be on a team or being recruited, and Ray Lewis was going to be because I don't think he would be let's say he's the DC. He's DC in conditioning coach and motivation. I'm probably going to go there. Why? Because it's my favorite player. He would directly be able to influence me. And of course, Coach Prime is one of the greatest to ever do it. And again, tip your cap. If we lost to Alabama, again, you'd be upset, but you tip your cap. It's not like you lost it to an in-state rival, and you beat out Florida for them initially for the commitment. So it is what it is. But I bring that up because I just want to just gauge. I mean, I know Miami is so far away from being in the Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan conversation. We're years away from even being in the Clemson, Tennessee conversation. That's like tier 1.5, tier 2. Miami's a tier 4, tier 3 if we're doing out of the top 5, and it takes time to get there. Of course, the portal and elite recruiting helps, but it's still going to have to come down to coordinators, relationships between the coordinators and the players, and being able to rack up wins.